Happy birthday, Dad. The electronic beat pulses through my veins like a drug, and I shimmy toward the man. He takes my hand in his soft, warm palm and pulls me close. Guapa, he whispers in my ear, his breath steaming. His scruff tickles my neck. I throw up my arms and let his hand fumble up my torso over my flowy strapless top. The discoteca starts playing a pop song in English about a single parent protecting her child. Today is my dad's birthday, and I haven't called him yet. My dad lives 2 oceans and several land masses away. The sun's peak warmth is pouring over his front porch just about now. Over the years, the dry heat has eroded its sea green paint. The salted air has splintered the deck boards, popping the nails loose. He and my mom built the porch before I was born. Dad and I used to spend Saturday afternoons there, swinging on the smooth acacia glider. My dad fiddled with his guitar that smelled like fresh pencil shavings. Whenever I asked why my mom left. He shrugged and said, "She didn't say, kiddo." Then he sandwiched my hands between his and stooped his face toward mine. "Don't worry," he said. "You and I are sticking together." We watched the fiery sun dance across the sky. When it dipped behind the neighbor's jacaranda tree, we chased after it to the beach. On the way, my dad clutched my hand as though I might stumble and fall if he didn't hold on tightly enough. Now, brush fires scorch the region, but my dad won't leave. He says my mom might come back. "Dad," I remind him, "she's been gone for 20 years. Overhead on the speakers, steel drums thump into the foreground, racing the flash of the strobe light. I look for my 2 coworkers from the American school who still haven't come back with their drinks. The man is now behind me, his hips thrusting to the beat. His fingers crawl into the front pockets of my jeans. The DJ scratches the record and the vocals cut in and out like my voice the last time my dad called me. He asked why I was fading in and out. "Poor reception," I replied. I wasn't ready to tell him about the new life I had sought out, how little I had in common with my coworkers, the other expats, and the locals, how I couldn't stand to eat another meal alone, how I missed him, how he was right and I shouldn't have left. All that would worry him even more. So I stood in my cramped apartment building elevator with limited cell signal instead of walking out into the open street. I heard my dad say in spotty, broken bits, "Take care, safety first." Now his words echo in my ears, drowning out the drums. When I told my dad I got the fellowship, he blinked and asked, "Why teach English all the way there when you can teach English here?" I could have pleaded for his support, for him to be happy for me, explained that there's not much going for me in this town with its dormant economy and ashy air. But what's the point? I was leaving him behind, alone, and we both knew it. On the morning of my flight, my dad dropped me off at the airport, wished me luck, and even managed a smile. The first one since I told him I was leaving. The discoteca smells like cologne and beer mixed with slippery decisions. The man and I dance into a corner. The drums bounce back into the song, picking up the tempo. His mouth hovers close to mine, the drink in his hand sloshes over the rim of the glass and onto my wedge sandals. I stare into his dark eyes. Where are his parents? Do they live close to him? Are they together? I turn away and watch his blotched suede boot tap in rhythm to the beat. His lips brush against my ear. "Venga, vamos a mi casa." My dad is probably sitting on the glider, a cigarette nestled between his bulged fingers, reading the news on his iPad, awaiting, but not quite expecting, my eventual return. Like my mom before me, I've released myself from his grip. Since I moved away, he's resisted calling me too often or asking me to come home. Nowadays, the news delivered on his iPad is the closest he can get to me. He devours it like religion. He reads articles about the riots, burglaries, and hate crimes happening where I live and reminds me to be careful. He blames himself for driving my mom away, and he's afraid to do the same to me. He doesn't know that I want to come home. I think about telling the man I have to go. I have to find my coworkers. I have to say goodbye to them. I have to go home. I have to call my dad to tell him happy birthday and everything else. Instead, I take the man's drink and pour it into my mouth. It tastes sharp and corrosive and crackles down my throat. The nightclub explodes with a regalia of confetti, and I hope my dad isn't buried under a pile of ash. Smoke fills the room, sweeping me away. I pull the man's mouth to mine. He leans in with his tongue. It tastes like salted peanuts and cigarettes. I whisper, Vamos.